What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick 22 of my favorite 31 hard rock and metal albums of the 70s. That's right. We are counting down each and every day this month here in July 2023. 31 days in the month, of course. My 31 favorite heavy albums of the 70s. A maximum of only 2 albums per any one band. That is what I have limited myself to. That's the only limitation here. Otherwise, everything is up for grabs as long as the albums are pretty damn heavy, right? Hard rock and metal in the 70s, kind of not all that different from each other, right? You'd had some bands who would make some waves in the 70s who were definitely metal bands, right? But there's a lot of good, heavy, hard and heavy stuff that came out during the decade. So today, no different. This is the fourth studio album from this German band, released November 22nd, 1976. Produced by Dieter Dierks at Dierks Studios in West Germany for RCA Records. I'm talking about 1976's Virgin Killer by the Scorpions. Of course, this is this cool little book-bound set that has In Trance, Virgin Killer, and Fly to the Rainbow on it. It does not say that on the cover, but Fly to the Rainbow is on here as well. Of course, here, and it's, the bad album cover, right? Okay, this is the U.S. album cover. Just had a weird shot of the guys in the band on the front. That's the one that I always had. I remember when I finally saw the original album cover, the German album cover. I was kind of like, oof, man, why would you do that? Why would you do that, guys? Anyway, that's a story for another conversation, right? Another day. We've got Klaus Meine on vocals, Ulrich, as he was known back then, Ulrich Roth on lead guitars and lead vocals, Rudolf Schenker rhythm guitars, Francis Buchholz on bass, and Rudy Lenners on drums and percussion, with a little bit of help on some keyboards and spots by Achim Kirschning. All right, like I said, Dieter Dierks was well entrenched in the Scorpions business at this time as far as putting together their albums. This was the first Roth era Scorpions album that I got. So the first Scorpions album I ever bought was Blackout, and I, of course, absolutely loved that after seeing them live open up for Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow at Madison Square Garden, and I had to go scoop up anything and everything Scorpions that I could get. Of course, had to hit the import section for most of them, so shortly thereafter I got Animal Magnetism and Love Drive and, Virgin Killer and In Trance and Taken by Force and Tokyo Tapes and Fly to the Rainbow and Lonesome Crow. If I remember correctly, I got all those Scorpions albums like within fairly short amount of time. I was like on a mission to get anything and everything Scorpions, because by the time like Love at First Sting came out, I was already in college, and I just started college actually, and I had everything up until that point. So like between, within 2 years, again, I didn't have any money back then, right? I worked like a stupid little part-time job and all that, at the local deli, and so whatever I had, I was buying records and all these Scorpions, the whole Scorpions catalog I got within a fairly short amount of time. But anyway, back to the album. So of course this has the amazing Pictured Life. Whether you call this, Scorpions are always looked at as a metal band. I would argue that the early part of the catalog, this is more just like hard rock. I don't know if it's really metal yet. I think that the metal kind of came with the Love Drive. And I think when Matthias Jabs joined the band, he added this metallic riffing style and soloing style. It was a little bit different than Uli, right? Because Uli is more of kind of like a Hendrixy, neoclassical type of guy, right? And Rudolph he's just a terrific, riff guy. That's whether it's hard rock or metal or whatever, that's just what he is. But Picture Life, great song, catchy song, arguably even better on the live album Tokyo Tapes, right? That's kind of the deal in the 70s. A lot of these, really cool songs from these great studio albums on those definitive live albums, those are the ultimate and definitive songs, right? Versions. Catch Your Train, another great song. Great melodies on a lot of these tracks, right? It's different, though. You listen to this era Scorpions and you listen to what came just right after. Excuse me, 2 very different bands. Just the way that everything sounds, right? In Your Park, great vocal from Klaus on that. That's got a good melodic, emotional kind of feel to it. Really like that. Of course, Backstage Queen, big up-tempo hard rocker. And then, of course, the frantic title track. Ugh. So good. Klaus singing up a storm, and Uli just throwing out all sorts of blazing riffs and screaming solos and whatnot. Just so good. And all the, this album is like really short. All these songs are really, really short. 3-minute long songs, basically everything. Over on side 2, you get a couple in the 4 or 5 minute range at the back end of the album, but everything else is just 3.5, 3.5. Hellcat kicks off side 2. Hellcat is just another great Uli song. You can always tell the songs that Uli writes, right? Virgin Killer he wrote, Hellcat he wrote, and 2 that are coming up he wrote. So he wrote like half of this album. Hellcat is just great. It's got this great playful lick, and the guitar solo is amazing. Such a great use of the wah-wah pedal, right? Uli could do these fast blazing neoclassical runs. He could do these cool kind of bluesy Hendrixy things. He utilized the whammy bar on his Stratocaster amazingly, right? Because he was a Hendrix devotee, right? So he studied him very, very well. He used wah-wah and all sorts of cool effects really, really effectively. So Hellcat is a barn burner of a song, just under 3 minutes long. Then you got Crying Days, another cool track, right? Another great vocal from Klaus, such an underrated singer. And then, of course, at the back end of the album, you got Polar Nights, which is just an amazing song. Another lead vocal from Uli. Here's the thing. Uli is by no stretch of the imagination a good singer. And on these early Scorpions albums, he generally sings anywhere from 1 to 3 songs. And usually when he sings, you're kind of like, why did they let him sing? But you know what? Like all these years later, I almost, you can't hear these songs with anybody else singing them but him. It's like Polar Nights is a perfect example. You listen to it, and it's even more so on the live album. It's like, oh my God, he's not a good singer. It's just, and you're just like, but then, it's got to have him, right? It's just got to have him. Polar Nights is amazing. It's got some of the most amazing guitar work of any song I've ever heard. It's just so good. And like I said, even better on Tokyo Tapes. Just absolutely love Polar Nights. What a great song. It's dark and dramatic and heavy and just screaming guitar solos all over the place. And just so good. And then, of course, the haunting Yellow Raven closes it up again. Another Uli song. The guitar work is just so good. So good. Yeah, what a great player. I remember the first time I heard like Virgin Killer, and I was just, in trance and Tokyo Tapes. I was like, holy moly, this guy. Where did he come from? Uli John Roth, right? Ulrich Roth. That's what he was going by back then. Anyway, great album. And the charting positions here. In Japan, this made it to number 32. Of course, because the Scorpions were always really big in Japan. Nothing anywhere else. And as far as certifications go, surprisingly, this didn't even chart in Germany. However, this sold 120,000 units in Germany. Again, was that at the time? Probably not. My guess is once the Scorpions really started to hit big, all these albums became a little more widely available and people started scooping them up. But this did go gold in Japan. 100,000 units sold. So, good stuff. I really, really love this album a lot, and it's my pick for today. Virgin Killer from the Scorpions. Let us know what you think of this album down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today, day 22, as we march our way all the way over to number 1. Let me see if I have any kind of cool shots I can show you here. There they are back in the day, right? There they are. Uli's such a cool cat. I've had the pleasure of meeting him in person. And, just a cool dude. Cool dude. Yeah, they have the full picture of the original album cover here inside, and I'm not going to show it because it's, you'll just get to see this kind of black and white thing there. But yeah, it's bad taste. But anyway. This is on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So thanks in advance for all your support there. And we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 21. For those of you who might be asking, Pete, you're wearing the same shirt. couple days in a row. Well, sometimes when my schedule is a little nuts and I can't actually record these because I've got other calls or meetings or things like that first thing in the morning, so sometimes I have to record them all in blocks. That's what I'm doing today. I haven't done this in a while, but I've got some very, very early things happening over the next couple days in the morning, which will prevent me from actually doing these when I get up, get dressed and shower and change and all that kind of stuff. And usually that's what I do every morning. I sit here first thing in the morning, right? Hardly anybody else is awake. And I get up and record these wonderful little videos for you guys. But, the next couple days, not really possible. So I'm doing them ahead of time. So yes, I could go and change my shirt, so you never know. But I'm feeling lazy today. So that's, I decided against it. Anyway, so I'm sure you guys don't really care because this is a nice little blue shirt, right? It looks bright and cheery for summer, right? Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow with my next pick. And until then, have a good one, everybody. We'll see you real soon here on SOT. I am Pete Pardo. Bye-bye.